Good morning, everybody. It's Victoria from Ask the Angels. I'm doing the reading a little bit early this morning because I'm off to a Pilates workshop this afternoon, which I'm quite excited about. And I was keen to record this week's weekly angel card reading before I did that. So it's for week commencing April the 16th through to the 22nd, 2018. And I was guided to choose a little bit different this time, actually, in comparison to before, which is interesting. And it's a bit of a story. So there are 4 decks of cards that I was guided to choose one card from each deck. And I'll show you the cards. I'll show you a bit of a theme. So this week's reading is helping those people with their life's purpose, so their life's path. I'm seeing so many people at the moment who are feeling as though they're coming up to a change. They're not sure what, they're feeling a little bit scared. They aren't sure what path to take. They just know that something needs to change, whether it's in their current job, whether it's doing something new, whether it's they've been a mummy for a while and now they're thinking about venturing into something different. So it's quite interesting that I was guided to choose these cards. So the first one that is chosen is from the Life Purpose Oracle Cards deck. That's the first card. I was then guided to choose one from the Archangel Michael deck. Archangel Michael, as I'm sure you know, he's incredible with his sword. He helps protect us, but he also can cut through fear and help us with that moving forward. So it's interesting that that deck should ask to come. Archangel Gabriel, that deck was the next one that I chose from. Archangel Gabriel being that archangel that helps us with not only new projects, giving birth to new ideas and new things, but can also help us with that important self-care, abundance, but also communication, which is an interesting one. And then the last deck was chosen from the Mary, Queen of Angels Oracle cards. And they're really incredible, the cards that came. I'm really excited about sharing these with you this week. So the first card that came from the Life Purpose card deck is Heart's Desires. And this isn't so if you look at the other cards in the deck, actually for the Life Purpose ones, you can see this one's saying to study, this one's saying you should move into counseling, this one's saying you should do something with regards to books, you should be a builder. But this one actually is saying it's whatever is in your heart. And so what's interesting about this card is it's saying you aren't necessarily sure what it is you want to do, but what the important thing is to do, and the kind of destination to walk towards, is whatever fills your heart, whatever makes you feel good, whatever it is that when you think about it, it makes your heart just fill with joy or fill with love. So it's basically it's saying that you don't know necessarily what it is, but what's important is that you trust that the angels are supporting you, they're guiding you, they're protecting you and helping you move forward. You see, because this lady, she's walking on the beach towards a destination that she can't necessarily see. She's dipping her toe in the water, isn't necessarily fully immersed. She's lifting up her skirt a little bit just to kind of dare to get her feet wet and to go in. So her dreams are coming. She's moving towards that beautiful place that you can see she's walking towards in the cards, although she can't necessarily see where she's going. So it's asking you to trust in the angels or whoever it is that you resonate with, by following your heart's desires, by doing the thing that you know makes you feel good, that it feels right whenever you think about it, or even if it isn't a thing necessarily, but when you're sitting, or you're trying to get inspiration or ideas, or you're thinking about all the different areas that you can go down. If you think, then that's not the area that you should be going down. So it might be a broad field of something, might not necessarily be a particular thing you can put your button on yet, But it's about following your heart's desires and actually trusting that your dreams are becoming a reality and you're being guided towards that, as long as you're following what your heart's suggesting. Okay. Then what's interesting is this next Archangel Michael card that came. So this is saying, write about your thoughts and feelings. So this again is saying you don't know what it is that you want to do, but use writing to help you identify that. So it's saying tap into your creativity that's been given to you by God, angels, whatever it is that you call it, and their wisdom that they want to download and share with you, and express that through writing. So sit quietly, get a book, piece of paper, and pen, and write down. And sitting quietly, you can use that process to allow you to have those inspiration and those ideas as to avenues that you can go down, or things that you can explore, or things that you can look at doing, for example. Okay. And calling on Archangel Michael to help you to go through that process too. So write about your thoughts, write about your feelings, and allow that to be creative in its expression, with it coming through to help then guide you as to what to go down. Then this is interesting. Look at this one that came from the Archangel Gabriel deck, which is journaling. So this is saying consistently writing about your feelings and activities stirs creative ideas and builds confidence for you. So what it does is, where the other one with Archangel Michael was allowing you to blue sky almost, I don't really like that terminology, but you know what I mean, by getting a pen and a piece of paper and writing things down allows the ideas to come. And then this journaling allows you to have confidence in the things that are coming out. So you write down your thoughts, feelings, ideas, areas that you could go down, and then separately, as a separate process to that, also then doing some journaling. So if fears start to come up while you're thinking about your ideas, so say something comes up and you think, oh, I couldn't do that, and there are other people that do it that are much better than me, or I'm not qualified at doing that, or I'm scared about going down that process, or what if I can't afford it? What if I make a mistake, and all of that. That's where journaling will help, because journaling will really help to process those fears, to process those thoughts that can be in your head that can then expand and morph and change, that can take you to a place where you're thinking I'm not any good, or it's not anything that I can do. So journaling will really help to process those thoughts, feelings, worries, etc., to allow you to then build that confidence and actually see from an almost detached perspective that that's what I can do, and that actually I am worthy of that, and that is something that I could explore. And then the last card that's from this Mary Queen of Angels deck is Grace. And the bottom of this card says, I am filled with the same beauty, poise, and divine perfection as all of God's other creatures. This card is then saying, you are worthy. So where you lack self-belief, self-confidence, that need for validation, that need for, I can't do it because I still feel as though I'm not good enough. This card is saying, come at it from a graceful perspective, and actually you do deserve it. You are good enough. You are worthy of that. And if that truly feels the right thing in your heart, who are we to then stand in the way of that through our ego, due to our fear or our worry about our lack of not being good enough, or comparing ourselves to other people? Because it just isn't true. It's not true. It's just fear, and it's based on things from our past, or things that we're worrying about in our future that may or may not be. But ultimately, if we follow our heart's desire, and then we trust in our journey and how that is unfolding, then we have to believe in ourselves. And so it's taking one step in front of the other, and breathing and writing and asking and trusting and being guided in that journey. And sometimes it's meditating, it's asking for help from your guides. I'm really struggling with this thought about myself, or worrying that I'm not good enough, or that, I just, who am I to think about doing something? It's just it's sad that we think like that about ourselves, and I can think about like that about myself sometimes too, you know. And so it's important to really go through that process of what is it that's in my heart, trusting I'm being guided towards that journey that's my purpose, that's what I'm meant to be moving forward and I'm meant to be moving towards. And then the angels and our guides bring us to that reality. And so writing down then our thoughts and our feelings and our journaling to bring those thoughts, feelings to reality, trusting in our journey, trusting in that we are good enough. And then in that grace, it's really filling myself with that beauty, filling myself with the characteristics of somebody who would be graceful, somebody who actually sits in their grace and knows that they are worthy and knows that they have that self-belief and self-confidence in order to move forward. And that can be difficult to do sometimes. But when everything is pointing towards that journey, that's what you should do, and you've gone through that process, who are we to stand in the way of our greatness, to stand in the way of our journey? So I hope those readings have helped. It's been a really nice, interestingly different reading for me this week, and I hope it's helped you too. So just as a reminder, it's from 4 decks of cards this week. It's the Heart's Desires card, which came as your Life's Purpose card as the first one. It's then about writing about your thoughts and your feelings. It's then doing journaling to release that fear, to trust in that higher vision, in that process that you should be doing. And then in that grace, filling your heart with that self-belief and self-worth that actually you do have a right to sit in your greatness. So wishing you a wonderful week ahead. I'm Victoria with Ask the Angels. I'll upload this to YouTube. You can find out more information about the services I offer on my website, which is www.asktheangels.uk. Also available on my Facebook page, Victoria KL Palmer at Ask the Angels. And if you have any questions or if I can help anyone with anything, then please just get in touch. Thanks so much, everyone. Wishing you an amazing week ahead. Big love. Bye.